We are live, sir.
All right, man. Welcome to 305, everybody.
The 305. Joe, you seem to be in a better mood today.
Yeah. I navigated all of that and ended up making it to, one of my favorite little restaurants in the Grove. Drink a couple beers.
Nice.
And,
Which restaurant?
That was good, man. It's a new place called Duck in Sum. It's like Cantonese fusion. But what's cool is it's real. They have all the buns and things, like a duck one. They have like a General Tso's. They've got this cool mapo, which is like a tofu with pickled apple and cabbage. And they have a bunch of like ginger beef. They have regular dishes. But the cool part is, you'll probably hate me for saying this, but Raymond's the guy who owns it, is they have half price from 5 to 6 on all the food. And like the beers are like $3.50, sake's like $5. So like a thing of like ginger beef, man, that's like $8 at between 5 and 6. So outdoor seating right across from the Mayfair Hotel on the backside of Coco Walk. So it's a really since Coco Walk reopened.
I'll have to come over there and have dinner with you one time. That sounds beautiful, man.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So how you doing today?
Heads down, plugging away, writing, and lost track of fucking time. So I was really glad you pinged me to let me know I was late. That was helpful, very helpful. So,
what I was really surprised about was, just real quick, all the people, all the other podcasters and stuff that have been reaching out to us the last couple of days, through other people introducing us. Jeff and Matthew, but there's like 5 or 6 now that are doing other things. And, it's just really amazing how that community is tight. So, I just want to be super appreciative to everybody who's doing that for us. Really appreciate it.
Creating a nice network. That's awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for it. So, let's see. Let me get some shit loaded up here. And then we'll get things rolling. What's going on in the market today?
Most of the equity stuff was off. The only one I saw, Dow was off 305 points, 0.9%. Everything else was sort of, in the quarter point range. Same with Europe. Asia was up last night, but the Nikkei futures are, down 95, about a third. I think everybody's just waiting on JPOW right now. Now, Bitcoin and, crypto, I looked at this morning. I haven't looked at it in the last hour. So, my guess is,
sideways
somewhere around. Yeah, but I don't know. So it might have fallen off a cliff. I don't know, but I don't see that happening for a while until, JPOW speaks.
Well, unfortunately, somebody else spoke, and probably means we're on our way down. Jim Cramer says we're in a bull market.
Yeah, but well, he's definitely talking about traditional finance. We know that.
Yeah, of course.
And he's tech heavy, if I remember right. So, I think they're all just happy that tech sell off ended, and that's been rallying back. But I don't know what happens. Happens next? Oh yeah, as Sean said, earnings from the big tech are out tonight and tomorrow. So that'll clarify some things. And Shizzy says,
I guess
JPOW, the mark. Yeah, Shizzy TP'd a little bit the last day or so. And so he has dry powder, waiting for, any kind of dips here. So that might be the prudent move. I did the same thing. So I think it makes sense, but we'll see.
All right, sir. Well, let's look at the current prices. 22,972, 1573. So, we're maintaining our current position. Sean said, one does not simply walk past monthly resistance. Wait, what does LOTR stand for?
On the record? Something on the record? No, yeah, I'm not sure either. Google it.
Find out right the fuck now. Lord of the Rings.
That's perfect.
Oh yeah, Niblet said, and then the two little hobbits did. Sean says Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Earnings for the big tech boys tonight and tomorrow. Yes. Simply walk past monthly resistance, whistling past the graves. Okay. So what's you got anything else exciting to talk to us about today?
I thought I sent some stuff over in the channel, but
you sent over FooBar's latest liquid delegates, the next NFT primitive, tradable delegation rights.
I thought, I think it said 380 million has been moved in that, I guess, protocol, but it seems like it's a way that, you could keep everything in your cold wallet, but yet you kind of allocate rights to it, like a power of a proxy or power of attorney would be the traditional terms, into the hot wallet, that then it can go do stuff for you, but you're not holding it in the hot wallet. So it's one layer away, which sounded pretty cool. I figured since you've talked to him a couple times, that you might know more about that than I, and that's kind of why I sent it over, just because, he's always coming up with great new stuff. Shizzy has a question
interesting.
for
Is
you.
he building this?
Yeah. I think it's already built. He said 380 million is already moved.
Yeah.
In the article.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Shizzy. Shizzy asks, why do you guys think Canto is pumping so hard? It hit 57 last night. Let me pull up a tweet. Where the hell is my tweet? Where's my tweet? Where's my tweet? What the fuck?
This has some...
this open. This is annoying. Keep talking, Joe. Say something fun.
Oh, no. I was going to say...
I can't go to Titter.com on this show.
Yeah, don't get us canceled, buddy.
No, I am not going to Titter.
Yeah, well, might want to update that glasses prescription,
All right, here we go. Let me find it. Here we go. So great thread by one of the developer contributors to Canto. He said, we just witnessed Canto's biggest week to date and have been thrilled to see the excitement surrounding the ecosystem. Shizzy, I will say that this is FOMO, man. Big investors coming in, buying on the open market, new projects launching left and right, a shit ton of NFT activity. I couldn't keep up yesterday. I have a search set up for searching on Canto, and the fucking NFT searches were just off the goddamn charts. Lots and lots of NFT projects launching on Canto over the last few weeks. And there's the infrastructure to support it. There's marketplaces, there's NFT development tools, all kinds of shit. But here's what they summarized for the last week. One of the biggest upticks in trading volume, Canto Dex saw over 380 million in volume in the past week, with a single day high of 75 million last week. Been in the top 10 of all dexes in all of crypto for the last week on DeFi Llama. So we have these things happening, and everybody starts talking about the fact. I'm tweeting out that it was number 7, it was number 5, whatever. And people say, oh, holy shit. What am I missing out on? What is Canto, right? And so it's just this self-feeding cycle. It's not going to last forever. So, take profit if you're taking profit. I'm just staking right now. I'm waiting for Canto at 100. So that's my TP.
What's interesting, buddy, is that go scroll up a little bit to the second tweet in that thread right there. Stop.
This one?
It says 380 million in volume the past week. It's funny because in FooBar's article that we had up his Substack, he's talking about that protocol as having done 380 million as well. And is it the same thing?
No, I don't even know if he has this protocol on Canto, or if it's even his Canto, it's even his protocol, or he's just writing about it. Oh no, we've built our native marketplace for buying and selling liquid delegates. I just don't know if it's on Canto or if it's on Ethereum. I'm betting this is on Ethereum. Yeah. Yeah, this is
it is.
Squiggles. Okay. Yeah, I think this is Ethereum. Yeah, it's on Ethereum. So not tied, just a coincidence, I guess.
Yeah, it's funny.
Anyway,
you got to follow him. FooBar.
I love FooBar.
No.
Yeah. Further to that, they said, while an increase in trading volume is great, what excited us most at Plex was the increase in development activity on the network. The last week alone saw more smart contracts deployed than in the rest of January combined. Like, look at this, 447 contracts deployed in the 4th week. And remember, this chain has only been up for 6 months, seven months now, seven and a half months. So pretty amazing.
When you had him, when you had FooBar on the show, and I guess when you were doing the testnet stuff there, when was that? Was that like July or something, or September?
No, so FooBar was on, I believe, I could tell you instead of guessing.
About making you do something.
I got to earn my keep.
Yeah, it never stops in the high-paced world of technology, right?
Let's see. When did we have FooBar on the show? Last time we had him on the show was August 27th, 2022. Okay. So
about 6 months ago. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Not only is smart contract growth, but user count on Canto also exploded, welcomed over 9,000 new wallets, I'm assuming. And transactions reached 165 transactions during the past week. More users usually means more bridged assets to Canto, and that trend continued with 51 million bridged this week. So money entering the chain. So all of that's great. And one of the interesting things I was thinking about when I was reading this thread is that not only is all these fundamental pieces growing, but the chatter about it is growing and getting more serious, right? I don't mean there's not memes, there's not jokes, there's not funny NFTs being launched, etc. But what I mean is people are actually discussing it from the perspective of the ethos that the chain was launched for, right?
Yeah.
And if you guys haven't listened to it yet, my interview with Scott Lewis gives a lot of insights into that. It's on the website at missiondefi.com. People are actually talking about that is what is attracting them to Canto. It's cool. Yeah, there's money to be made. Yeah, the price is pumping. All that's great. But people are saying, this experiment is really intriguing to them and they really want to try it out and be a part of it. So Shizzy, I think it's a lot of FOMO. I think it's fundamentals growing because of the FOMO. And, I think that people are attracted to the ethos of it. And so people are coming in to get Canto. I'm still staking. Yeah. I'm stacking on the staking. I'm stacking on the LPing and lending. It's been a good couple of weeks. So don't expect it to last forever. It will dump eventually to some level, especially if the whole market dumps. But I'm very pleased with how things are going so far. So.
Yeah, at least they have a good story. They fit in. They're doing stuff. There's execution going on. So anything, I think, just my interpretation of your comment, Brad, is when you say dump, you mean like just a little correction because of the recent
I mean, like if the whole market goes down, it's going to go down. At some point, people are going to take
with the market.
Yeah, at some point, people are going to take profit. I mean, a lot of people got into this for free from airdrops or at 5 cents, at 10 cents, at 15 cents, whatever they were at, even 20 cents, even at 20 cents, you're 2x your money right now. And with profits scant in the market, people are, probably going to take some profit. So we'll see.
Yeah. Good point.
So anyway, great shit. Glad to see it. Hey, I found this, this is pretty cool. Somebody posted up a blockchain onboarding. I don't even know if Canto's in this blockchain onboarding, but it must be because there's a shit ton of fucking chains in here. So this is really cool. It's a list of all the major blockchains and then all of the things you need to get onto the chain. So Ethereum, it has the wallets listed. It has a faucet where you can get gas fees. It has bridges. It has central exchange withdrawals to Ethereum, chain explorers, notable dexes, dex aggregators, lending and borrowing, NFT marketplaces, GameFi metaverses, derivatives, yield aggregator, launchpads, liquid staking, portfolio management, TVL tracking, farm locator, degen stuff, emergency stuff, charting platforms, analytics, NFT tools, gas trackers, token terminal, CoinGecko, Masari official website, GitHub repos, and documentation for a shit ton of chains. And each of the chains is divided by their parent chain. If there is a parent chain, like, the Cosmos ones, they have the non-EVM chains, Cosmo SDK chains. this is a pretty damn good list. So here's the cool thing about it. Like, we talk about these new chains that are launching, and the first step is, well, how the fuck do I get anything on there? Right. Because you got to have money for gas. You got to have money for whatever. This is an awesome, awesome document. I'm going to share it in the show notes. I'll make a copy of it and I'll share it in the show notes so everybody can use it. But if you've ever wanted to explore another chain, this is a great way to kind of get started and play around. So, there's Canto, Faucet.
Yeah, what I like about this, Brad, is so much of the time when you go to get on the chain, like when I was messing around on Shardium and ZK Sync and others like RB, all of those, you got to figure it all out. How to do it, how to get the tokens over, like you said, hook into the faucet, whatever. This has it all in one handy place. So even when the new ones come up that aren't on this list, there's Rootstock that aren't on
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Privacy
even
chains.
Though the ones, then you know what to look for. You just look at these different columns and these parameters, and then when you find a new chain to at least find all those same values, before you go in. It'll help you to know what to find. Exactly. That's cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me show you. I'll show you a spreadsheet I was bitching about on Twitter the other day.
Your class thing? Your kid's class?
This is my daughter's fucking assignments over well, she's knocked off a shit ton of them, but
look at that.
These people are fucking insane, Joe.
Is this Animal Farm the book?
Yes.
Is that So she's got that's what I love. They train them up to do decks when they're in PowerPoints when they're in 8th grade.
The kids, my daughter does this, and all the kids do this. When she wants us to let her do something that she thinks is a big ask, she'll do a deck for it.
For you. To give it to you? I love it.
She presents it. She comes in and she presents the deck to us and says, okay, here's why, here's what I'm trying to do, here's what's good about it, here's what I'll do in return, whatever it is. She's startup ready.
And to summarize at the very end, bullet point 1 is I need $50 or something. I love it. She's like running fundraising gigs. I'll have to bring her on as an intern one day.
Niblet says the documentation in the space is generally horrible. Reading is like getting dropped in the middle of some conference for a sci-fi show you've never heard of. Dude, that is the best summary of the state of documentation and UI. I mean, it's just as bad. James says, okay, James, I got a bone to pick, dude. James says, Kando is pumping because Brad didn't give us heads up about the airdrop. I have been talking about Canto since day one, testnet day one. So...
Yeah.
And Shizzy.
I just wasn't paying attention. Yeah.
Shizzy's got my backs. He actually did. James needs to tune in more often. Ooh, look at that. Nice.
I think you guys live near each other too. So
yeah, I disclose all the shit. And let me tell you about disclosing all the shit. Big thank you to one of our listeners, Sync. He doesn't join the community, listens afterwards. He and I have this ongoing Discord discussion. He turned me on to 3 great interviews. But the one yesterday that we talked about briefly the other day, Quai Network, this new blockchain that's coming out, we got into what this chain is all about. And this chain's entire purpose in life is to solve the trilemma. And Dr. K, the founder of this thing, he is doxed, by the way. He just goes by that name, is basically saying the only thing that prevents our the only thing that prevents the speed of this chain growing is the speed of the internet and the infrastructure of the world. Basically, he's saying they've solved the trilemma of decentralization, security, and performance. And the methodology is with a what he calls proof of work 2.0 and a sharding capability, and a multi-chain layer of interaction and how the miners interact with the chain and the segments of the chain that they are mining for. I'm not going to go into all the details of it because it's really fucking complex, and he does a great job of explaining it. But I tell you what, I'm really fired up for it. Now, I will tell you, they have about half their team in March. They raised 10 million from big reputable crypto fund. It'll come to me in a minute. Anyway, they raised 10 million from a reputable crypto fund to get it off the ground. It's been in research since 2019 at the University of Texas. A bunch of doctoral students there have done the research and work on it. They've written 3 versions of the blockchain and weren't satisfied with it throughout the first 2 and finally hit on it. The consensus mechanism for all this performance is only 600 lines of code, which is unfucking believable. And one of the points he makes is that what happens with complex topics is the simplicity. When you're trying to solve a complex problem with code, the more shit you add to it, the less likely you are to get to the optimal performance that you want from that code. He said that's why they threw out the first 2 versions of this chain. The 3rd version finally hit and they realized the solutions they wanted. So they knew where they were going with the chain and they knew what was possible from a technology perspective, but getting the code to function properly in order to make it simple and work and perform the way they projected it to didn't happen until their 3rd try. So very, very excited about the potential of this chain. Sounds like they have a good team. What I was going to tell you is I think their marketing team, from what I have seen people say in some discussions, their marketing team is a little shill heavy. And so you get a little bit too much over the top fucking rhetoric from the marketing team. But, I think that's kind of thematically they're going in with this like hardcore, we're gonna shake things up, and they're kind of not afraid to do it. I didn't get any impression from him. He was very friendly, very down to earth, that he's kind of that mindset, but that is it. Anyway, yeah, powerful, exciting. He does a beautiful job of explaining the technology. I made him take it from 5th grade level down to tech details. And I'm excited about this. It's Quai, Quai, which in Chinese, Joe, is like the word bucks in US in English, US English.
Like so, for dollar? You mean like for dollar?
Yeah, like a buck. Yeah. It's like kind of like a informal word for a representation of a dollar amount, right?
Money.
So
yeah. So Quai Network, right? Quai
Network, QUAI.network. They have a brand new website coming out that he showed to me, but I'm not allowed to show to you guys. That's really fucking cool. The current website isn't great. As he termed it, it's garbage. But they've just been ramping up their team. And I'm really impressed. His background is academic, and then he worked for years at Consensus building a hardware wallet for teams. It is EVM Shizzy, but it will also be WASM, so WebAssembly as the ultimate. But it's starting off with EVM for migrating protocols into the chain.
You know what looks kind of? I'm just on their I guess white paper docs.quai.network. Advanced introduction, merged mining. Mining a combined header generated from multiple blockchains. Idea first conceived by Satoshi 2010. Quai has extended this with the implementation of merged mining in a network of blockchains which have the same shared protocol. So I guess Quai makes proof of work over 10,000 times more energy efficient than Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Sean.
So one of the ways, and this is a radically decentralized launch. There will be no version 2.0 of this blockchain. There will be no upgrades beyond some peripheral things. When it goes, it goes. So it's a big bet, a big risk, but there will be no developer intervention whatsoever. He's very much all about the Bitcoin model. He wants to launch this and have it run. and he believes
I
that
like
they've hit
it.
the performance marks to launch it in a fully decentralized manner. Though the basic gist of the merged mining is that you've got 13 chains at launch. There can be more, and there can be potentially subnets, but they are miners will be working on a slice across the network, so they kind of structured as a pyramid with it based on geographic regions, based on particular functions, etc. And each miner is mining a segment of that layer of chains between those levels, and then as needs to be filled in different segments, minor optimization is moved to different segments within the chains, and that's what causes kind of this overall performance improvement. But anyway, he does a much better job explaining it than I did. Sean says something funded by a VC is not decentralization. I'd beg to differ. I mean, you can. Oh, Polychain, by the way, Polychain Capital is the. I knew it would come back. Just because something started funded by a venture capitalist doesn't mean a venture capitalist has to have control over it after the fact. I'm assuming it means they'll get some allocation of tokens. $10 million is nothing for a blockchain development effort. So we'll see. It very well could not be decentralized, but from everything I discussed with him yesterday, I'm pretty impressed with the radical decentralization approach he's taking. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. No, and also just so everybody knows, it looks like there's a test net up, and they have their own wallet, QuaiSnap, that you have to do, and then you can also mine it. So if this is going to be as crazy and cool as it sounds, you might want to get in that test net and start doing something. There's a faucet. I see a faucet here.
Yep.
Let me see. Yep. Wait. Faucet allows someone to place your address in the bar. Yeah, everybody can just get in. Oh, it looks like it's going live, but it's not live yet. Sorry. So we're waiting on the launch of the Iron Age testnet. But you can request. It looks like you can get on a wait list here at the bottom of that page. Same site, usequad/testnet-faucet. So yeah, go play it in there, guys. Get ready for it at least.
Yeah. So anyway, who knows what will ultimately happen? The whole thing could be a complete failure because they forgot something, and then once it's out, it's out. So they'd have to release something new and they're going to lose credibility. But I was thoroughly impressed with the conversation. And, I'm sure there's a much more technical deep dive in the documentation than what we'll get from my interview. But for everybody else in the world, it sounds very impressive. So.
Well, and also their Twitter, page, site, account, 117,000 followers, following 560 roughly. So there's a built-in community there already.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, let's see. I had, let me find this, put this back in. This is interesting too. Another spread, for some reason it was spreadsheet day yesterday. This is actually cool. I haven't played with it, but the concept is really cool. It allows you to take the Ethereum network and play with all the parameters of throughput, token issuance, number of validators, daily issuance, all of this stuff, and see what the future status of the Ethereum chain would be if parameters of the chain were changed. So it's really intricate, really detailed. But if you're the kind of person that really likes to fuck around with kind of what could happen to Ethereum, or you just want to play with the numbers because it looks like it would be fun to play with the numbers. I'm just amazed at the stuff people put their time into, but it's pretty cool. What is DBA? Are they, they're an investment firm. So that's why they modeled it. Okay. That's why they modeled it out. Right. And they're just releasing the model so that people can utilize it because they needed it to assess their level of engagement with Ethereum, I guess.
I wonder if they're operating have stuff in nodes on Ethereum. Maybe that's their investment. And this is something they can also show to their clients.
Yeah.
So they can model outcomes. That's a good thing too for, covering CYA strategy, because if you're putting out models like this to your, I'm assuming, clients that are giving you money and you're running them into nodes on Ethereum, then you're showing maximum potential outcomes. So you're never selling one outcome. So if it all goes in a tank, then you basically, you're in better shape than if someone said, "Oh yeah, we're going to get 6%."
Exactly.
So it's smart.
Yeah. Very cool. Secret Network had some problems. So Secret, you and I have met the founders, and I'm not sure which one we met, but
Tor, we met Tor.
Okay, so they've had 4 major validators halt their services because a founder took out $2 million in dividends, and because of an upgrade leading to technical issues. Smart Stake, King Nodes, Azul Collection, and Domerium Labs have all stopped validating the chain, which could spell trouble for Secret Network if others follow. Founder Guy Siskind alleged that the Secret Foundation's founder, Tor Bear, made an undisclosed sale of foundation funds and directed some of the proceeds to himself. Bear claimed the withdrawn funds were owed to him, while Smart Stake cited issues with the network's core technology as the main reason for leaving. Validator departures are the latest sign of potential trouble for Secret Network. So I don't, I'm sure this is a he said situation, and people will have to figure it out. But, Bear claims that he owed the money.
Were people voting on that? That $2 million?
No, I don't think so. It sounds like he had access to it.
Because I saw something.
He received no salary. He received no salary when he started it in 2020. He did begin investing tokens in 2020. Like all foundation employees, those tokens were subject to cliff and quarterly investing. I began earning a salary in 21, and by December 2021, I had invested a portion of my tokens. I rotated this opportunity for an OT sale of Secret tokens. Instead of paying out my vested tokens in December 2021, I converted my vested portion of tokens to USD at the OTC price, and Secret Foundation distributed these funds as a dividend. The amount of tokens vested was 375,000 Secret. The amount of the dividend distribution was 2.625 million, which is the OTC price of $7 multiplied by the tokens vested. This information is verifiable in our tax filings, which have been previously reviewed by labs, and I have previously disclosed this information to them. So, sounds like he's got good reasoning behind it.
Well, also, why wasn't he included in distribution? I mean, I heard it went to something I read said it went to a lot of the devs and stuff on the team. And so the question is, why was he kept out of it? I don't know.
Yeah,
it sounds like I'm just going to say, when you start kind of saying, "Oh, I started there and didn't have a salary, and then I got a salary and this," it sounds a little bit of sour grapes to me.
It almost
maybe
sounds
pissed
like
everybody off.
Yeah, it almost sounds like, though, here's the gist of what I got from this. He was entitled to his vested tokens, but the way they were probably doing it was manually instead of automated. And so the other developers would request their vested tokens to dump or whatever. And he hadn't requested his yet. And then he had an opportunity for the over-the-counter sale. This is what I think he's saying. I'm not saying this is what happened. He had an opportunity for the over-counter sale. So instead of transferring to him and then transferring him to the OTC, he just took his tokens that he was entitled to under the terms of the vesting agreement for a founder, sold them OTC, and then distributed it back out to him. I have a feeling, which is stupid, because here's what probably happened. Somebody in the community was tracking the chain, looked and saw that the money had moved, saw that some kind of sale had happened and that money went to him, and didn't see any reasoning behind it because he didn't publicly post it, and he didn't, and nobody knew that it was coming. And it was different than all the other vesting, taking their options, right? So I have a feeling, and I don't know Tor more than the 2 minutes we talked to him at the show, but I have a feeling this was just stupid communication and stupid management of the transfer. And it, in this world, it doesn't make sense because your community is going to jump all over your shit. So,
there's more here.
Should have used Revest, Eamon said. You're absolutely right, dude. Revest would have been perfect for that. And because Revest is the wrapped NFT that allows you to put time locks on it or performance locks on it. So you can say on X such and such a date, release this NFT to the holder, to the person that's supposed to have it, or they have it already, release the tokens in the NFT or attach to the NFT. You can do it based on performance, token price reaches X, whatever. Revest would have been perfect for that. Absolutely. Elon Musk wants Twitter payment system built with a crypto in mind. So they're going to build it first, the payment system. He's making a big push on the payment side. They're going to build it first with fiat, but his goal is to add crypto to it. I have a feeling the attorneys may have something to say about that, but who knows? Shuzi said he should have done it in secret.
Secret. Yeah,
the other thing that's interesting is Friday to Saturday, my notifications were fucking broken, right? And I thought it was fixed.
I saw that. Mm-hmm.
And then Saturday through yesterday or today, it's still been broken. I'm not getting notifications on likes and replies. I can't see the people. So if you've replied to something I fucking tweeted, my apologies, because I have to go through every fucking tweet to see if I got anything happened on it. And
well, do they have the middle finger? Do they have a middle finger emoji in there?
They got that. Yeah, they got that. So everybody else is complaining. There's a bunch of people locking their accounts because evidently locking your account actually makes your account viewable. A bunch of people complaining that Twitter views are like big influencers have dropped 80% since the weekend. And then Musk replied to one thread and said, "Oh yeah, man, something's broken." And then locked his account like everybody else, so his tweets would be seen.
You know, I noticed that too, because usually if you come in, like if it's somebody get notifications on when they tweet, and you come in at the very beginning, and maybe they get usually a couple 100,000 views, you end up just kind of getting 50,000 views or 20,000 views for nothing, just for being there when everybody scrolls through it. Yeah. But a lot of times I noticed that in some of those where there might have been like 3 million views of the main one, I was getting like 13 views or something, or 12 views when I was like one of the first ones in the commentary. So there is something off with it. And somebody published something too, that the algorithms changed and they were testing it. And it looks like now the best thing to do is comment on a tweet versus liking or retweeting. And you're getting rewarded for that in the algorithm. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just sharing something. But, I mean, look, I don't really worry. I'm not as prolific in that as, say, you are, Brad. So to me, I'm just, just put it out there, see what happens. But it definitely seems like something's off.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and now Twitter's just choking to death.
Well, but the other thing with back to the Elon and the payments engine on Twitter, to me, look, if he wants to get back to being the richest man in the world again, he's going to have to do an airdrop or do a token on Twitter or something to get it back up. So, to me, I think even though it's fiat now, I mean, could conceivably be a brand new token eventually that's somehow used to drive the algorithm within it, not as a payments piece, but as, something else, some kind of part of the infrastructure, which would be pretty interesting. So,
I love this tweet. I love this tweet about Elon and it being broken. Imagine buying a McDonald's, firing the whole crew, and then asking the dumpster raccoons how to work the deep fryer. Because that's exactly what he did.
Yeah. He's not really, it won't be Doge. Selling my bag, Shizzy. Go ahead.
That's funny as shit. That's hilarious. No, anyway, so crazy stuff. Let's see what else. What else did we have, Joe? Oh, DL News has launched, and I tweeted about this. This is another DeFi Llama production. Hired a bunch of journalists in crypto, real journalists who actually understand crypto. So they've launched DL News. I'm going to be interviewing the managing editor on the 10th from DL News. Talk about what they're doing, how they're doing it, et cetera, how it works within the context of the old DeFi Llama ecosystem. But, we've got a new news source with some fairly reputable reporters on it. So I'm excited to have that added to where I get my news.
Did Do Kwon fund that, or is he just a news story?
Oh, no. This is a story. Crypto fugitive Do Kwon plots comeback after $60 billion Terra. I actually haven't even read this story yet. It just happens to be the first story that DL News published. They went live today. He remains actively involved in the day-to-day operations of the firm. This involves all aspects of strategy and the direction of Terraform Labs across all products in development. So he's basically trying to save Terra, I guess is the idea. They're hiring a dozen people. Terraform has posted several of these job vacancies after they collapsed in May. Earlier this month, Quant personally discussed potential roles with an interested candidate. So he's actively involved in the day-to-day management of Terraform. So,
well, see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
See what Chuck said?
No,
I put it up. It's on the main screen.
Hubris is an expensive personality trait to maintain. Yes, you're right. Elon's hubris is absolutely an expensive trait to maintain. Blockchain instant messaging apps to reach over $500 million valuation by 2030. So this whole idea of kind of decentralized on-chain, instant messaging apps somehow is going to reach $500 million by 2030. Now I'm trying to find out who predicted this. Blockchain use cases, blah, 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 blah. New report from Grandview Research. The global blockchain messaging application market is forecasted to hit a valuation of $536.5 million by 2030. The report released on February 1st highlights this as a 43.6% compound annual growth rate in the 7-year time span. It's interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, what? Only 500 million?
Yeah.
Sorry. In 7 years? Come on, man.
A decentralized Twitter alternative goes live on Apple's App Store. If you remember Nostr that we talked about before, that Jack sent a bunch of money to as a grant. They are now live as a Twitter competitor, getting promoted, by Jack and everybody else, saying it's officially live and available to try out. I can't remember what their method or model was for decentralization, but it was supposed to be a completely decentralized model. But I just can't remember.
It's got payments. It's got payments built in through BTC Lightning.
So it uses relays to distribute messages. Yeah. Bitcoin and Lightning.
That's kind of interesting. I'm surprised that he didn't get strapped into a non-compete on that deal, the exit deal with Twitter.
Yeah, he probably wrote the deal. Gains Network, by the way, are G-Trade, Gains Network, the synthetics trading platform that has crypto, forex, and stocks. I did an interview with him. You can search on missiondefi.com for the founder interview I did. 7-day average trading volume crossed 100 million for the first time and stands at 166 million as of January 30th. Platform surpassed 10,000 cumulative users on January 23rd, generating $200,000 in daily fees for the community. Forex trading has picked up dramatically, 1,000x over crypto assets. Forex is a $7.5 trillion market. This article is kind of talking about the fact that it gives an entree to traditional finance when they can come in and trade Forex synthetically. So very interesting. Niblet says no Twitter competitor has survived. The field is littered with bodies. Yeah, I mean, here's what's happening, right? Every one of these Twitter, whatever their model, they're the right-wing model, the left-wing model, the decentralized model, the pink interface model, whatever their model is, it's a fractured joining process, right? Once, it's that network effects that Twitter already has, and it's next to impossible for anything to compete because you're not providing all of the history, all the connections, all the contacts, everything that you've built up over the years. There's no way for anything to replicate that. So it doesn't matter if it's more private, more secret, more transparent, faster, decentralized, all about right wing, all about left wing. None of that shit matters because you'll never get the level of engagement that you get on Twitter unless Twitter collapses or somebody figures a way to suck in all of Twitter into a social network and then launches. And that's not going to happen. So, there probably not going to be any survivors until Twitter dies. So I'm still using Lens protocol, but not very often. Because look, people trying to decide where to spend their time, they're going to spend their time where they get the most engagement, where they get the biggest dopamine hit, right? And that's where everybody is. Niblet says, yeah, the network is the product. Everything else is just decoration. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and if he gets that payments in there really good, then it's going to be so sticky at that point. And nobody's, I mean, I've been over on LinkedIn a little bit more again, just to like once a day to put out a message. And you definitely could see the difference. I mean, I didn't really pick up on how different it was until I went back and looked at it again. And I figure I might as well at this point because that's where, you know, a lot of people are. But it's not like fun. It's not like Twitter where you can actually have a good time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you need a life coach, go to LinkedIn. This stat was this stat was it, or you need some good inspirational quotes. This stat was interesting. And it's just kind of, I was a little flabbergasted to realize this. Bitcoin closed out its best January since 2013 this month.
Wow, I can't wait to have, when we talked to Sean on Friday, we talked a lot about the monthly candle close. I'm really going to be curious about how that plays into the TA. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, you know, historically January is not great, but 39.4% gain for the month. Best month since a 40% rally. Oh, it had a 40% rally in 2021 and its best January since 2013. Currently that was October 2021. Best January since 2013. So that's interesting. Niblet says Joe doing penance for some past sins by lurking in LinkedIn.
Yeah. It's funny. You have to really write the messages differently. And you know how so many of the Twitter messages come on a full lot of salt at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Hey, stupid. Hey, dumb shit. You know, whatever. You're wrong. Totally wrong. You know, all that kind of shit. Well, on LinkedIn, it's like you get a little bit of that, but, you know, everybody's writing full pages about stuff. And, you know, I don't need to see somebody's full page interpretation of a 3-page article. No, I'll just read the article. No. You know,
well, and I think that whole idea that Twitter was going to add, 2,000 character tweets. I really hope not.
Yeah.
I like a good thread. If I want to read the thread, I read it. If I don't, I don't. But I don't want a fucking wall of fucking text greeting me. I mean, that's like, do you remember what the fuck Twitter is? You know, the idea was synthesized short tweets. I don't know who the fuck is asking for 2,000 character tweets anywhere. Niblet said, hang in there, kitten pics are the way in LinkedIn. Yeah, absolutely. So Kathy's standing by her $1 million Bitcoin by 2030 at ARK Invest. So they're
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, man, me too. She didn't have the best 2022, did she?
No, she got gutted. I have used the word gashed in the past, but I guess that doesn't really work in the ARK context. But yeah, no, but she's heavy on tech, you know, and heavy on crypto stuff. So, you know, and long game stuff. She's doing some life sciences. So, you know, that stuff, you know, it usually gets pounded first. And, you know, it's kind of like the risk on. Yeah, so she bought more Coinbase. She bought more GBTC a couple months ago. You know, that's why I started thinking, you know, if she was doubling down on GBTC, that, you know, I wonder if there's like, you know, the water cooler chatter is that, you know, GBTC was going to get that spot ETF approved. You know, she must be thinking something positive there because this was, I think, in November when she went in. And so that's already after the, you know, Genesis, Gemini, DCG debacles. Not before the bankruptcy of Genesis, but at the same time, you know, she has some confidence there still. You know, we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, long time horizon. I think that's good for today, Joe. I'm good. You good?
Yeah, very good, man.
Good.
I was just gonna crack a joke, but it wouldn't be too over the board. I can't do it. I could do it in the bar face to face with people, but you know, it kind of goes with your long time comment.
I knew where you were going. Thank you, Niblets. Thank you, Chuck, Shizzy, Eamon, James. James. That's the gang today. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank all of you for listening and watching. Please, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app, please go quickly take 2 minutes to give us a review. It really boosts us in the algorithm and helps us get more attention for the topics and issues that we're discussing. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you smash the thumbs up and click on the subscribe button and the little bell so you get alerted when new episodes come out. For past episodes, go to missiondefi.com. To join our community, visit us at t.me/Mission DeFi. That's on Telegram at t.me/Mission DeFi. We'd love to have you join us. We're all getting to know each other better. We're all talking about the projects we're interested in, and it's a lot of fun. It's a nice slow grow, so we're not overwhelmed yet. But we'd love to have you join us in the Telegram. People from all walks of life and all corners of the globe are joining us there. So looking forward to seeing you there. That's it, Joe.
Yeah.
I hope you have a lovely afternoon.
You too, buddy. And don't forget, everybody, FOMC, I think at 2:30. Or has it already happened? I don't know. I've sort of stopped paying attention to this stuff lately, but we'll see what happens in the afternoon. I saw something on Twitter, which was I don't remember. I think it was in your material indicators chat, Brad. It was like a whole extended stuff about Jay Powell and the speech, not the price action predictor, but one about if he says this, that's not good. If he says this, it is good. If he says this, markets tank. If it says this, markets implode. So it's a really good one, probably from like 9 o'clock this morning in the material indicators chat. Cool. I did DM it to Shizzy because he, comments on Jay Powell a lot. So I thought he'd find that was a gas. But anyhow, everybody have a great day and, take profits if you want to. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow.